What up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Matt Wyatt. So, I recently went out to go see Bad Boys Ride or Die, starring Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. Basically, this is about a follow-up to Bad Boys for Life, and it's telling the story with the late captain who got killed in the last movie is now being framed for being linked to the drug cartel, and Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are going to have to team up to clear his name, but things escalate when they're getting set up, and now they're wanted fugitives, and now they're going to have to like work together, including Will Smith's son. So I was not very excited for Bad Boys Ride or Die. I was not blown away by the trailers. It was like, oh man, I was a little worried that the movie was going to be very bad and a very pointless generic action flick. And you had the two co-directors who directed Bad Boys for Life, which it is my favorite of the franchise, honestly. And look, I'm not like the biggest Bad Boys fan of all time. It's not those movies were not one of my all-time favorite classics. I enjoyed it the first two movies that Michael Bay directed years ago, and Will Smith and Martin Lawrence had an incredible chemistry. You can tell by watching the movie. You just enjoy watching the two of them together, regardless of what you think about the plot of the film. I mean, the plot is a generic, but the one thing that really saved the movie is the chemistry between Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. They work so well together. They're closest friends in real life. And, and I was not very excited for Bad Boys for Life that came out in 2020, and it was like during the pandemic. Wasn't a big fan of how they marketed, but then I watched it. I was like, "Whoa, wow, this is so much better than I thought it would be." And I was not familiar with the two co-directors who made the Bad Boys for Life and Ride or Die. I was not familiar with them, and they were going to direct a Batgirl film that got canceled by WB, which I won't get into the down that rabbit hole of what they coulda, shoulda, woulda from the studio. I'm just gonna get into Ride or Die. So I'll give you my honest thoughts out the way. The first 45 minutes of the film, I was very turned off by the first 45 minutes. It really started to go a little too far with the silliness, and the jokes were not landing for me. I thought that I felt like I was watching a completely different movie, and it just felt like it was a parody within itself. Now, by the time you get past like 45 minutes in the first half of the film, the second half really started to kick into the plot, and it started to get better and better and better. And look, I thought that Will Smith and Martin Lawrence continued to do well with their chemistry, and I thought the action and the gunfights were very more intense. The camera work was so impressive, especially when they were doing drone shots and they were doing a POV shots, which they showed a little behind the scenes during the marketing of Bad Boys Ride or Die, which I thought the camera work was very impressive. And it could have been taking me out of it, but it actually worked. It was very creative of the way that they were shooting the gunfight sequences. And Will Smith acted his ass off, and I thought he did great. And I thought the returning supporting characters from Bad Boys for Life, I thought they were fantastic. I still enjoyed seeing them. I never felt annoyed by them, and enjoyed like the cinematography. And there were some parts of the jokes that did land, but not all of it land throughout the majority of the film. And I will say the one thing that really stole the movie for me is the character that plays Martin Lawrence, his son-in-law, named Reggie, which you met him in Bad Boys 2, and then he made a small appearance in Bad Boys for Life. I thought he stole the spotlight. He gets his moment to shine, and I wanted more Reggie. Reggie is fucking awesome in this movie. I was blown away. And once you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Once you see get his moment, your jaw will hit the floor. It did for me, and I wanted more. It's now he got a lot more respect in this movie than he did in those last two films. And I will say that the title, Bad Boys Ride or Die, this movie should have been called Bad Boys for Life. And Martin Lawrence and Will Smith cracked a joke about it off camera. And even in the marketing, they know that they dropped the ball that this movie should have been called Bad Boys for Life and not Ride or Die. Ride or Die that should have been the third movie and not the fourth movie. But you know what? It is what it is. Like we can't change it. They're just gonna stick with it, and they're not gonna try to do a whole bait and switch thing. Now, the negatives I have with this film is that like I piggyback on what I said about the first 45 minutes, it got a little too silly and too ridiculous, and the jokes were not landing. And I wanted to love Martin Lawrence's character in the movie, but unfortunately, they kind of made him really stupid. He's done a lot of stupid shit that was not very smart, lack of common sense, and honestly, his jokes that were all over the place, and it just felt like he was just shoving a lot of jokes at random with not the best timing in the world. And look, I'm not saying that Martin Lawrence was bad. I just didn't like how they have written him and how they've used him. I wish they could have done better with him. But you know what? It is what it is. And they did the Will Smith slap bit, and it was a very meta, but for the moment, the joke actually worked. I thought it was great. It was perfect, to be honest with you. It could have been done so poorly, but it actually worked because once you see the context of the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I thought it worked. And I thought the actor that plays Will Smith's son in the film, that you met him as the antagonist in Bad Boys for Life, I thought he was great. Him teaming up with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence was great. I thought it was very well executed and great chemistry that they have with the three of them. And he had a great redemption arc. And it could have been so forced and very not very well executed. Like, for instance, when we watch the Fast and Furious franchise, we always meet the antagonist who has done terrible things, but in the next movie they always they always force the redemption to these characters, and it didn't feel right and it didn't make any sense. But in Bad Boys Ride or Die, the redemption arc fits so well into the story, and I thought it was very well executed and it was very well earned. It didn't make me roll my eyes once, and I thought it was very well executed. Now, I'm gonna have to address the elephant in the room with Will Smith. I'm a big Will Smith fan. I grew up loving his movies and watching The Fresh Prince, and he won an Oscar for King Richard. Look, what he did at the Oscar when he walked up on the stage and slapped Chris Rock, it was one of the dumbest moves he has ever done because Chris Rock cracked the joke. And I thought it was just one of the shocking moments, but one of the dumbest things that he has ever pulled. Now, look, we had time has passed. He was publicly humiliated and he paid the price and he owned up to what he had done and he publicly apologized like a million times. Now I'm ready to move on. Everyone's ready to move on. Like, I'm ready to see more Will Smith movies. I'm excited for what he does in his acting career. I wish him for the best. I really do. So overall, this is definitely a really a fun movie to watch. If you're a Bad Boys fan, there's no doubt that you're gonna have a great time. I say hang in there for like at least the first 45 minutes, but then after that, it will pick up and it will like pay off for you. It did have some serious heavy moments. It did not held back on the body count. The body count, oh my God. And yeah, the main antagonist, I saw the plot twist from coming from a mile away. It was very predictable, but the actor did a great job, I will say. I recommend you should go see it in the theater. If you really love the Bad Boys films, there's no doubt that you're gonna have a good time. I had a good time. Not one of my favorite movies of the year. I won't put this in my top 10 or top 5. If I were to grade this movie, I'd give it like a solid 7. I still think Bad Boys for Life is a better movie and it's the best out of all of them, but I still think it's a worthy follow-up to the Bad Boys for Life. But if you have not seen Bad Boys for Life, I'm gonna say that you're gonna get lost because it definitely continues on from the last film. So you're gonna have to watch Bad Boys for Life if you want to know what's going on in Ride or Die, because you get a little bit lost and confused. But even if you didn't see Bad Boys for Life and you see this, it will definitely compel you to watch Bad Boys for Life. So what did you think of Bad Boys Ride or Die? Did you really enjoy it more than I did, or do you thought it was not for you and it wasn't your cup of tea? Leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure you leave it a like on this video if you really like this video, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and help me get to my goal to 500 subscribers. I've just reached 200 and my goal is now to reach 500. I appreciate you guys supporting my channel, and if you want to follow my social media links, the link tree will be down in the description below. I hope you guys have a great day, great evening, wherever you're from. I hope you guys stay safe and take care.